Yes, sir.
I like that. Yeah, it's like in and out.
Yeah,
You can't see it on the side?
Can't see
Yeah.
it from the side. It's like a privacy.
Exactly. What's up, guys? This is the Kentucky postgame show. I'm sure you guys are upset. I'm sure a lot of y'all are a little bit mad, but we'll get into that here soon. I'm Fletch. This is Mario, and we're back with Maliek. Welcome back. We're glad to have you back.
Welcome back, my man.
Yeah.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe always, and hit that button. So, yeah. So number 10, Kentucky, 103-92, lost to Tennessee. They were ranked 5th, but still, I mean, it was at home.
Yeah.
Not good look.
Tough loss, man. But Kentucky's got to be able to get healthy soon.
Rivalry. Gotta love it.
Got a little hectic in there, didn't it?
Yeah. I guess shout out ESPN. They had all the good games going on rivalry week. Duke, UNC, all the good games. Finished it off with UK, Tennessee. It didn't disappoint. Just in the loss.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little frustrating. I know last time we talked about it, we were like, Kentucky's going to come out on top. We
did say that, yep.
It felt like a very special year.
Hey,
Reality saying,
it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Maybe it's not going to be a special year. It's just hard because I feel like we're going to keep saying the same things over and over again.
Kentucky versus Tennessee, big time rivalry game, my man Maliek. And Tennessee just had they are ranked number 5 for a reason.
Ugly orange, though. Ugly orange.
You don't like the orange?
I do not like the orange. Nobody likes the orange, honestly. Not even Tennessee fans. But.
I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite color. But I wouldn't mind, playing in it or something like that. I don't know.
Nah.
I think this game was really a good game. Obviously we got a lot of shout out to Rob Dillingham. He had a big game.
Exploded.
Big game. But Kentucky's defense was lackluster in this one.
We've been saying the same things all season. Their defense is a question mark, but their offense is so explosive. You have Rob Dillingham, come out there, put up 35 points, had his career best from percentage-wise, shot 14 feet, made 14 from 20 field goals. I mean, the guy had a special game. And we also can't forget about Antonio Reeves.
Yeah, big AR, 21 points. Them guys play hard start to finish, especially offensively. They were big key guys.
Yeah, I got to say, Ugana, played a pretty good game. He led the Wildcats with block shots, of course. But, I was surprised I didn't get to see Big Z out there. I don't know. I'm a huge Big Z fan. I want to see more of him out there. I know he's been a little bit under the weather, but when are we going to get him out there? I really wanted to see what he could have done.
I'm not, upset with Cal going with Ugana, coming off that big 6 blocks game, off 6 blocks. That's a big game. You want to see if he could impose his will again in this big rivalry game.
For sure. Tennessee eventually had its largest lead at 16 points, where it was 76 to 60, but Kentucky never could really close out that gap.
Yeah, what do you think about Kentucky trying to make that last run, that last little push towards the end?
You got to get stops. You got to be able to get stops, especially if you want to make a run back into the game. The most important thing is to get stops. Kentucky can score with the best of them, but if they're not going to be able to get stops, you're never going to be able to climb back out, especially out of a deficit like that.
I feel like we've been saying the same things here recently, but what has led to Kentucky's second straight home loss?
Defense and rebounding. I hate to repeat that, but if I could switch gears, I got to go with injuries. We got to be able to get DJ Wagner back. I think we're missing him. We lost every game we didn't have him, so he definitely plays a very strong role. Just being able to stay in front of the ball. We saw what Tennessee guard Zaki Zeigler. You saw what he did. He had a great game, and none of our guards could really stay in front of him. So being able to have DJ Wagner, we're seeing that he might actually be the glue to this team. But yeah, I got to go with injuries if I had one to pick. Once we get healthy, then we can fully evaluate the team. It's really hard to evaluate when you're missing your star point guard.
Normally, I would say earlier in the season, you really want to put a focus on injuries. I put the focus on just the overall defense. Like I said, you really got to have, especially going in this point in the season, we're in February, leading into early February, but going into March, you think about the phrase "next man up." You got to be able to play these games. Everyone has injuries. Everyone's getting banged up through the season. It's been a long season for these guys. But, you have to be confident in everything that's going on, your system, your team. And it's just been, like I said, it's just been showing continuously, just defensively, little holes and flaws that's in their team, in their game, offensively and defensively. So just overall, I'm going to just say mostly defense, though. Like I said, we talked about getting stops. These guys got to, focus more and lock in on defense.
That's all March Madness is about defense. Who's the first one to get a stop in those pivotal moments? And we've seen so many, last minute buzzer beaters in March Madness. That's all what it's about. Who's going to get a stop? And I think Kentucky, they can score with anybody in the country, but it looks like teams like Tennessee, they're putting up 90 points. You got multiple other teams that put up 90 points as well. We just can't play defense, and I think that's hurting them right now.
Yeah, and honestly, it means like no pressure towards them. Tennessee is a really good team.
Right.
Good team.
Yeah.
No pressure towards them. Because obviously we can only take it one game at a time. We're not trying to look far ahead to the tournament. Whether people are trying to decide is this a national championship winning team or not,
sure. Yeah.
or can they win the SEC tournament? These guys can only take it one game at a time. But we're just talking about overall game perspective when you start to be like, okay, this is a team that looks like it can win it. When they're talking about now Tennessee and those other teams that we think are okay, yeah, they're making continuous growth throughout the season. Now we're looking and questioning if Kentucky's regressing.
What are some things fans need to know after the Kentucky loss to Tennessee?
Like I said, just once again, it's a loss to a good team. We're talking about SEC. Like I said, it's a lot of competition in the SEC. Shout out to their coach. He really had a nice game plan. He instilled these guys with confidence. As well as just their scores. They were able to get help from everyone all around. Just really a team effort. And they came in, and you got to, on the road. Tennessee came in on the road, knowing this a rivalry game, and they were able to get a win inside Rupp. So they're not, like I said, they're not a weak team. You want to say, some fans may feel like, oh, they're an inferior team. But like I said, we're talking about a young Kentucky team who's constantly, we got to question if they're regressing or growing, but that's what's going to happen when you got young guys, like I say, you got to take away some positives and negatives out of that game. So, like I said, you just kind of just want to keep following through the season. Just don't give up hope yet.
Yeah, kind of to go off what you said, fans really need to know that it's just one game. Like, I know it's Tennessee, it's the rival team, but we're not healthy. So when your team's not healthy, you can't really get to see what they're fully capable of. Guys are playing extra amount of minutes. Players are playing different roles. I think it's one game, but we can, as long as Kentucky continues to learn from it, and I think they will. I think Calipari, everybody knows, the players know they're not playing great defense, but it's getting better. It used to be worse. There's times that a few games back where we looked even worse on defense. It's improving. I've seen plenty of plays from last night where we were there. We contested. Tennessee. That goes back to what Maliek said. Tennessee's just a really good team. So I feel like the defense is improving, but fans have to be a little bit patient. It's not going to flip overnight. It's not going to flip overnight, especially when you have injuries.
Yeah. And also don't Kentucky went to that game number 10. They'll fall in the rankings after this loss, of course. So you just can't let those things, like I said, change your opinion about how you feel about the team. You can't let the ranking drop or all those different things. Obviously, Kentucky will play Tennessee again. They'll get a chance to play them again.
We said it. I mean, we said it. We said they're not going to win every SEC game.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not. As long as they're beating some of the teams that we really feel like they should beat.
Supposed to, yeah.
So next game be Vanderbilt. We really feel like confidently they should beat that team. Speaking before going into that Florida game, I was one to say it's going to be one to watch. I didn't want to guarantee the win there because like I said, it was a close game before. Obviously, Florida was a good team. We've seen that. They're going to be able to now pick up on a couple different things and come into the game a little more prepared. Hopefully, through this growth, that Kentucky will have the opportunity now to come in and if they play Tennessee again and make some changes. This is a benefit of conference play. They'll get better. They'll be able to focus in, lock in more, and be able to grow. And I think Cal is probably going to focus in on defensive end. I think he knows that he's a really good coach. Yep. So he'll know what these guys are lacking. And it's not confidence. It's more so just just defense, just being defensive integrity,
Yeah,
I want to say.
Just the little things.
Yeah. So being young, having injuries, playing the number 5th team in the nation, all those factor in, obviously, but still improving. Rob Dillingham exploded with 35 points this game. Is Rob Dillingham a top 5 pick?
Woo. I'm going to let you go first.
Top 5 pick, top 5.
Top five.
I don't know. I don't know. I never really, looked into the draft boards into this season. But I want to say he's one of the most exciting players in college basketball. I'll say that, or most exciting to me. Probably many Kentucky fans agree. We've been knowing this. Instagram name Rob with the shifts. We've been calling him, Mr. LA Fitness. All those different things. He's an exciting guy. Someone you definitely want to watch. So I wouldn't be surprised if team decide to say, "Hey, let's get this guy. He's going to sell seats. He's exciting. He's going to put people in seats, sell tickets." So I'll say that.
I think he is. I think he's one of the better guards in the country, not just as a freshman, but as a player in general. We saw the thing about the injuries, like I said this last episode, you get to see what guys are fully capable of. This is unleashed Robert Dillingham that we saw, last game. 35 points, shot really well from the floor. He actually, for a second, he looked like he was back at overtime elite. So, I enjoyed watching him and seeing what he was doing. But yeah, I believe he's a top five pick. I think he's one of the better guards in the country. I think just as the way he plays, like he draws attention. He it's something special about the kid. Whether it's shooting these crazy shots from the field or whatever the case may be. I think he's box office. He's going to draw some seats in arenas in the future, and he's only going to get better. Yeah, that's the thing. He has some room to fill in a little bit, but I think he's a top 5 pick. And
I think it's crazy because it's games like that I'm sure Kentucky fans probably feel like, yeah, that's why he should be in the starting rotation. And
not necessarily.
DJ Wagner, he's not very helpful. We don't need him. And I want to say, if you feel like that, you're really doubting and not what we really have in DJ Wagner. I know it was a little bit of stuff on social media about him taking down some of the posts of his UK uniforms and things of that nature. But he's here. He plays for us. Like I say, just I think we even missed him in that last game.
We sure did. Sure did.
Definitely his height as a guard and his length. He's very effective on defense end as well.
Yeah, so piggybacking off of you, how much does not having Wagner affect the Wildcats overall?
It does have an effect, Like I say, you necessarily isn't, the scoring prowess that we thought, or of someone of Rob Dillingham that really can heat up in a moment's notice. But he does a lot of things that you may not notice on the stat sheet, as well as he really does facilitate the ball very well. He really understands where people are on the court, where they need to be. So just that as well. You could tell also during those timeouts and things like that, he's also a leader. He's also a leader. So that's definitely something you need, especially when we talk about accomplishing different goals throughout the season.
I agree. I think he's definitely a leader for this team. I think he brings toughness and grit to the team. I think he's a lot more mature than people think he is. I also think that DJ Wagner, when he's on the floor, just having him being able to penetrate, it creates easier looks for outside shooters like Reeves, for Dillingham, takes a little bit of pressure off of Reed Shepherd in terms of being a primary ball handler. You got DJ Wagner kind of taking that pressure off of him. We saw what it was like for him, being the point guard, the only point guard on the floor sometimes. But having Wagner, it brings a comfortability to Kentucky. He's that glue that Kentucky needs, and he's not necessarily going to show in the stat sheet, but he's very valuable to this team. And I think once they get him back, they'll be headed in the right direction.
Yeah. So after the game, a little bit of explosion on Twitter. Matt Jones, the host of Kentucky Sports Radio, kind of giving Calipari, saying this is a little bit of his fault, and maybe is Matt Jones just the first guy to say what many UK fans have been feeling for the past years? Like, how much of this is on Coach Cal?
I don't blame it on Coach Cal. I'm going to be honest with you. And the reason why I don't is because, you can't – defense is really like there's not much you can teach in defense. There's a lot that goes into effort, and a lot of effort goes into defense. I think that's what matters. It's just the kids getting out there and being able to be disciplined on defense. I'm sure Cal's telling them that, and sometimes as a coach, you're preaching, you're telling your guys what you need to do, but it's just not translating out there on the floor. So I don't necessarily put all the blame on Coach Cal. I think it's up to the players. You just got to go out there and defend, and they know that themselves. And who's going to really step up for us defensively? But sometimes that takes time. It just takes time.
Like I said, I'm someone who could be critical, very critical of Coach Cal. I'm not going to give it to Coach Cal on this one. Like I said, they lost to a good team. You can't. I know that people are very upset. Like I said, it's a rivalry game, so you want to find someone to blame. It's a good team. It's not necessarily always going to be someone to blame. If you lose to a better team, it's not to say Tennessee is the better team, but I think they are a very good team, and they got a lot of discipline. They showed it. So they came into the matchup very prepared. You got tip your hat to them on that one. You got to say, hey, they came ready. They came prepared. They capitalized on a lot of our mistakes defensively.
They wanted it more. I think they wanted it more, and they got all the 50-50 balls. And
they made a couple more plays. Sometimes to win games sometimes, and that will be in the tournament as well. You need it to be your night. Sometimes you just need it to be your night. You need the ball to just roll in, whatever. And it was their night. So it's not necessarily a Coach Cal thing. We could break it down when we follow into the next game and question, does Coach Cal make the necessary adjustments that need to be made?
For sure.
I like that. And talking about the next game, we'll be playing Vanderbilt in the SEC play again for our next opponent. Who do you have in this game winning Vanderbilt and Kentucky?
I got to go with Kentucky. This is if we get Wagner back, if we're fully healthy, I think you have an opportunity to just build on what we need to get better at, and that's defense and rebounding. I think Vanderbilt, obviously they're not as strong as we are in terms of firepower, but let's go in there and let's use this opportunity to get back on track and ramp up for Gonzaga on next weekend. So I think it's an opportunity. Kentucky's definitely going to take it by 15, 20 points, but let's get fully healthy. That's my goal.
Yeah, I definitely got UK winning this game, Big Blue. Only thing I want to see is I want to see Big Z. I want to see some more minutes from Big Z. I'm not sure what it is with Coach Cal in that one. I know we haven't seen him since the Georgia game, or at least as minutes-wise as much. But I really want to see Big Z out there, get him in, get him really orchestrated, get him going. I think he could be very useful. So I'd like to see it.
Yeah. So Kentucky plays Vanderbilt, their next opponent. Please like and subscribe. Let us know where your picks are in the comments. And please join us next time.